Hi guys, welcome back to Scrap in Scotland. Thank you for stopping by. You join me today in the shed for another teardown video, but today's teardown is going to be a little bit of a comparison. If you've seen a recent short video I posted, I had a stack of computers, computer towers to take apart, and what I want to do today is actually just do a little bit of a comparison between some of those different towers. Which ones have great motherboards, which ones have beautiful chips, which ones have big heat sinks, which ones, have the best things on the board themselves, which ones have the biggest hard drives, which, just do a comparison and actually see what we've got. So today we have three that we're going to tear down, we're going to take apart, and we're going to compare which is the best ones. So let me show you what those three are. So the first one in here is the Dell, and it's the Optiplex 790. Okay, this is a very common one you see in businesses. Very common one indeed. One that's now starting to be phased out with newer models obviously coming in. These towers are getting smaller and smaller, and this is the smallest one of the three that we're going to compare. But yeah, this is probably the one I would think that would have, maybe a static hard drive possibly, or certainly a smaller one. Hopefully we get some RAM sticks in there and hopefully get a nice chip. I'm not expecting the chip to be a pin chip, I'm expecting it to be a non-pin chip. And when we take that out, we'll show you what we mean by that. The next one is the Hewlett-Packard, the HP Pro. Okay, bit of a bigger unit as you can see. Okay, I'm going to compare the three of them together. Again, not what I would say a modern computer, one that's been phased out as well. Does have an Intel Core i5 chip inside, so yeah, that's nice. Always good to see a nice chip inside, so again, hopefully that is a pin chip and not one of the non-pin chips. And the final one we have is the Fujitsu computers, the Siemens Esprimo. Okay, so that's quite a big unit. It does have placeholders for the old kind of A drive, so obviously we don't have a floppy disk drive anymore, not really utilised anymore, so this is probably a really old unit as well. Okay, and this one, in terms of what's inside, we have the Core 2 Duo. Okay, so we're going to take them apart. I'm going to flip them on the side and we're going to start taking them apart, and we'll see which is the best out of the three. So what do you guys think? What do you think is going to be the best? It'd be great to actually have a look and see if you guys got it right. Okay, so bear with, let's get them on the side and let's start taking these apart. Okay guys, so we are going to go for the Optiplex 790 first of all from Dell. We'll get this one apart. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long to take either of these units apart and see what goodies are inside for us. That one had a nice handy little handle on the side just to take that side panel off. And there's the first initial look inside. Quite busy, not a lot of space in there, but we'll start taking things out and we'll see what we've got. Well, I was certainly right in saying that the hard drive would be a static drive, and that means there's no moving parts in it, so you don't get the platinum disc, the plat disc inside. Obviously not a platinum disc, it's an aluminium disc, and it is coated in, is it platinum or palladium? I forget. But this is not one that has moving parts. It does have gold pins. Do save these as well, do put these with my other hard drive for processing later. But yeah, first time in a long time my predictions came true. Okay, So we'll put that hard drive at one side, just for info. Zoom, XUM, is that how you say it? Zoom. Zoom in for quality. Okay, and looking at it, it is a 256 gigabyte hard drive. If that can focus on that, and you can see that. Okay, again without any screws coming out, we get out the disk drive. Standard DVD. It is a rewritable DVD. Again, we'll just put that to one side at the moment. I was trying to remove the main fan there, but it seems caught on something. So what we'll do is we'll get all the visible screws out first of all and see if we can pull that out. As I say, the real problem with this one is the lack of space to get your hands in and get stuff pulled out. Okay, there's our fan unit. Take the plastic cover off, give us more access. So there was a little locking mechanism on the hard drive, we managed to get that out. Okay, and we've got the hard drive underneath. See if we can release this out. Okay, so some shred steel here. Okay, that releases our hard drive, Toshiba hard drive, and it's a 500 gigabyte capacity. You can see just above my finger. Okay, board on the back, very minimalistic board. Not the prettiest hard drive I've ever seen in my life. Other than the fan, this is the second part of the cooling system. And as you can see here, we've got some copper attached to some aluminium fins and an aluminium plate. Okay, actually quite a nice thick piece of copper there, so that's great. We can take the copper out of that. We'll put that aside just to compare the heat sinks. Next we're going to pull out the RAM sticks. we have 1, 2, 3, 4 RAM sticks, 2 blue, 2 green, and the blue ones are 2 GB. In fact, they're all 2 GB sticks. Okay, again, put them to one side. Now we'll try and release the power pack. Just another fan. First of all, get that out of the way. Looks like I'll have to get the board out before I can take the power pack out. Okay, now we can release the chip. So here's the chip. As I said, it is a no pin chip. So again, 2 predictions from 2 guys. We're doing alright here. Okay, just clean it up a little bit, see what it says on the chip. And that's an Intel Core. I think it says 5.24 or 52400, something like that. Yeah. 3.1 gigahertz from Costa Rica. Okay, there it is. Again, not sure I'll be able to focus so you can actually read that, but there it is. Okay, so there's our chip. Here's our power pack. Not same as the usual kind of square power packs you get. So there's a standard one from a PC, no traditional ones, and there's that one. Do the same job. The board's just not lifting out very easily, so let's see if we can unwedge it. What I'll do to try that, because it may be this is what's sticking it in, is the screws that were keeping the chip locked in. I can't see any other screws, so I'm hoping that's them. That's just our little slots for our USBs, our audio, etc. Stick that on one side. Okay, and now to find the right bit to get these out. So that didn't release it. There are no screws on the back, so I'm thinking it might just be a case of wedging it out. don't really want to break the board, so I can guarantee if I do wedge it, it is going to break the board. So what I'm going to try and do is try and get these edges off, open it up and see how we can get in underneath it. As always guys, and if you're used to watching any of my videos, I always miss a screw. I don't know what it is, I always miss a screw. Always, every time. And even when you know it must be a screw, still miss it. Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean it's coming out though, because it still isn't. Just another little aluminium heatsink. Well, it was a case of just wedging it out, but that was a mission. Okay, there's the board. Still got to take the battery out of it, but not a fabulous board. Some little gold pins in here. Obviously there's still some gold on this board. But there's a board, we'll put that to one side and again compare it with the others. Okay, well that one turned out to be no fun. And far too much work. So let's move on to tower number 2. And this is our HP Pro. So we've got a mixture of screw heads here. We've got the hex screws and we've got the Phillips screws. We've got all the Phillips ones out, so it's just finding the right size for the hex ones. Okay. So we can pull this side plate off, pull it out, and lift it off. There's a look inside. So you can see there's a nice big heatsink on and a fan on top. Hopefully there's a nice chip underneath that. Looks like 2 sticks of RAM in there, just sitting in here, which we'll pull out. Possibly a bit dark to see it, hopefully catch the light and you can see it a bit better. And this one's also a small static hard drive. Let's get them out. Looks like we've got a static hard drive and a larger hard drive in here. So both versions. So we'll get the front plastic cover off. Okay, and our hard drive is a Seagate, another 500 gigabytes. Again, very simple board on the back. Get all our wires out. Okay, so board's settling out a lot easier. So here's our RAM sticks, we'll get them out. Our 4 gigabyte RAM sticks. One blue, one green. Okay, now we want to get the big aluminium heatsink off. And see if there's any copper in it. Okay, so there's the heatsink. There is no copper in it. Sometimes you get a copper nub that goes right through it. Not on this occasion. So we'll just put that aside with the other heatsink, and again, compare them. And then we can get our chip out. Okay. And once again, it is a non-pin chip. Clean off the stuff on the top, and there's our chip. Okay. And we'll put this board to one side, fan to one side. There's a little static hard drive, Kingston, and this one is a 240 gigabyte static hard drive. Okay. Here's our disk drive. Again, a DVD rewriter. So we still have to get the power unit out, but the screw holes are blocked, which isn't very handy. It's always an easier way to get it out than what I try and get out. Still, we got there. Okay, so we'll stick that with our power units. Again, you've seen the one that came out, the first one. This is a standard power unit. finally our Siemens Fujitsu, which is the biggest and heaviest unit out of the three. Definitely a little bit different looking inside, certainly more space. Only seems to be one RAM stick in there, one hard drive, and then we've got this big bit of plastic this side that's covering the heatsink. So we'll get that off and have a look. Very dusty inside this one. Okay, cover comes off nice and easy. And you can see the heatsink now. Let's get that off. Okay, all aluminium. No copper again on this heatsink, but it is a nice big chunk, a real big chunk. Let's put that to one side. What do you think, guys? Is this one going to be a non-pin CPU or a pinned one? A RAM stick, only one in this one unfortunately. That's a 2 GB RAM stick. No slot cards in any of these so far, unfortunately. Okay, this hard drive's half the size, 250 GB this one. Okay, just above my finger, 250 GB. Again, tiny little board. Which of course, if it is an older unit, you would expect it to be a smaller hard drive. Getting our standard power unit. Okay, it really is quite manky inside. And there's a disk drive out. DVD Super Multi recorder. All good. here's our board. I'm definitely not, you know, too clued up in terms of the colours and things like that of these boards and what they mean. I'm sure some of you guys that are into scrapping PCs much more than I do would know what that means. You know, that this different colour of the board to possibly the green boards or the blue boards. I don't know, so please feel free to leave a comment and let me know. There are some nice gold pins on this one. Got some gold pins here, and gold pins here, and there's also some over here as well. So definitely some gold pins. Oh, we've actually got some down here as well, caked in fluff and dirt, but they are there. Okay, as you can see. So quite a lot of gold pins on this board at least. And we do have obviously our little chip sitting under here. And unfortunately, once again, it's a no pin chip. So that's a shame. I was hoping to get at least one that would have pins in it, but yeah, unfortunately not. So let's have a look at what we've got, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so this one, Pentium, I think it says 86 E730B. Again, try and focus that a little bit for you. But essentially, we got 3 chips, all more or less the same. Yeah, if you turn them over, they are pretty much identical. So that's our chips. Our hard drives. Okay, so there's our first one, the Toshiba one, 500GB hard drive. Second one was the Seagate, which is also 500GB, and the third one, which was another Seagate, 250GB. And we also got 2 static hard drives as well. In terms of RAM, we've got 4 sticks out of the first one, 2 out of the second, and 1 out of the third. And one was 4GB of all the other RAM sticks that were 2GB. Okay, so there's our RAM sticks. In terms of the boards, so again, I think this was the best board. Seems to have more gold on it, and again, I'm not sure if this colour of board makes it more desirable or more expensive than another colour. Again, let me know. There was a second board we pulled out. Definitely a busier board. Yeah, and more chips on it. Is there more chips on it? Well, you've got that kind of 1 VGA chip there. Okay, as compared to this kind of chip that's sitting here. And there was the first one. And that's got both. That's got that type of chip and the other type of chip here. Okay. So that was the 3 boards. And then we come to the heatsink. So definitely the heaviest heatsink is this one. It's a nice thick piece of aluminium there. Second one, again, pretty standard nowadays. Sometimes you do get, as I say, a little kind of copper circle in the middle of this. Not in this one, unfortunately, but we will get the fan off the top of that, and that's nice clean aluminium. And then finally, obviously the best one, because it does have copper, was the first one we took out, which has this lovely, nice thick piece of copper on top. Okay, and of course you've got these little copper pipes that go into the aluminium fins. You can just take this top nub of copper off and you can put the rest of this into like your radiators. I actually take the fins off it, spend that little bit of time taking the fins off and putting the other little copper pipes into my number 2 copper. Okay, disk drives are standard. Obviously I had one thin disk drive and then 2 thicker ones. These actually have nice boards on them as well, these ones, so they're definitely worth scrapping out. I think that's almost it, guys. So there was the other disk drive, obviously. And we have obviously our two static hard drives. I can't see where I put the other one, but that's one of them. That's about it. So in my opinion, I would say the best one to scrap out of the 3 of them, simply because all the chips are the same, disk drives are more or less the same, not a huge difference in the boards, a little bit of heavier aluminium heatsink doesn't equate to a big difference in cash, but because this one carries copper in its heatsink, I think that's probably been the best one. Again, I'm sure you guys out there have a lot more knowledge on PC motherboards than I do, so please do tell me if I'm talking nonsense. And actually, because the last one we took apart has more gold content, then that's the more desirable one. But I thought, worthwhile little experiment. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. As always, try and bring you something a little bit different. You know, you can see computers getting taken apart all day long. That first one certainly did cause me some issues taking it apart, and I've got about another 5 of them to take apart, so hopefully I learned my lesson from that first one, and that's what it's all about, yeah, learning quicker and easier ways to do things. So that's it for this teardown, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. We're hovering around the 650 subscriptions. We need to start pushing that up a little bit, and I am doing my best to do that by bringing you guys new content and something a little bit different. So if you do enjoy scrapping videos, guys, then please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and as always, we will see you on the next Scrapping Scotland. Bye.